Hey guys, I just put together a couple of dumbbell workouts right in the driveway. I've been training clients this summer out of my car and just meeting them at the parks, and we've been doing a lot of body weight and dumbbell movements. So I wanted to share them with you just to give you an idea of what you can do with what you have, or if you're feeling a little intimidated to use the barbell, these are awesome ways to get used to weight training, feeling stronger and more confident in a movement, and really focusing on what body parts you're using. So you're going to see a lot of single leg and single arm work, and you're going to hear me mention using your core a lot. And I want to talk about that just a little bit. Pardon the dog bark. When you are working out, you want to make sure that you're bracing. So what does that mean? You want to make sure you're breathing into your belly, so you're not holding your breath. So let's say you're going to do a bicep curl. Your arms are extended by your side, you're breathing into your belly, and on the way up in that curl, as you contract the muscle, exhale, back down, breathing in, up, exhale. Just like in a squat, you're going to breathe in before you descend into your squat, and on the way out of the squat, that's when you're really pushing, that's when you're going to exhale that breath. So you're always focusing on bracing, having a strong core, engaging in your core, and really focusing on the muscle group that you're using. Don't feel like you have to lift super heavy weight in order to build that muscle, but make sure you're focusing on the weight you are starting out with and trying to progress every couple of weeks so that you're really building the muscle and you're not just using 5 pounds for a year. So I hope that these ideas are helpful for you, and please subscribe to this channel if you want more updates and videos like this. I would love to provide you guys as much content that can help you in your journey just to working out or getting into it or getting back into it, and the types of things that you can do to keep it simple and achieve great results. So, all right, I'm going to start with some curls. So these are supinated curls. You'll notice the tempo here. I'm not moving super fast through them. So just as you're taking your time on the way up to contract, on the way down, you want to take it nice and slow as well. So you really feel those muscles stretching and contracting at the top. And here are hammer curls, just a different variation for a curl to hit your bicep in a different way. I don't recommend doing every single exercise that I'm posting here in the same day, but these are a great addition to really build up your bicep peak. And if you want to get fancy, we have some stability curl exercises. So this really works on your core, strengthens your obliques, helps whittle that waist down, and gives you focus on stability. So you see that my leg is at a 90-degree angle, and I am taking my time, and I'm not having my opposite hand holding onto anything, not my body, just off to the side. These are really fun, W curl. So you'll notice I'm just coming up in line with my bicep. So I'm not coming up too high to a full curl, so you can kind of consider it a half curl. Again, take your time with those. And then these are just a twist curl. So you're coming up in a supinated curl to a reverse curl. And this is kneeling as well, which is going to isolate any sort of momentum you would be getting from standing, using the core, and also just isolating your biceps. Here's just another variation that we have seen earlier. So this is just to show you that there are plenty of ways to challenge yourself and plenty of variations you can use so you're not bored or getting used to the same movement all the time. And there are other ways to progress and challenge yourself. So here we have a half kneeling bicep curl to overhead press. This is also going to work on strengthening your core, and just a lot of unilateral work will help strengthen your muscles on their own so that you're not just favoring one side if you do unilateral work together. That's why I love dumbbells so much. And as you probably expected, you can do this standing as well. Here are some of my favorite ways to isolate the rear delts and really use your core. So you want to focus on maintaining that flat tabletop back, and you're not rocking or rotating in the direction that your dumbbell is going. So you're really isolating the rear delt here. And these are just a couple of variations. So neutral, we have prone, and then supinated grip. If you have any lower back issues, I wouldn't perform these standing. If you're using heavier weight, definitely use the tabletop position first. But this is a great way to, again, stabilize, focus on using your core, and really hitting those rear delts. As you see, I'm pretty much parallel to the floor. I'm not at much of an angle, so it's really helping me isolate. And I'm going to continue to sound like a broken record, but we're going to do some unilateral side raises, so a lateral raise for your delts. Here you want to use a challenging weight, and you want to maintain this correct posture, so you're not leaning one certain way or another. You're standing nice and tall and using your side obliques to support you. And then again, you can do bilateral movement as well. I like to combine unilateral and bilateral movements together for a little extra burn. Another awesome stability and isolation exercise, you can do military press drop. So you're holding one dumbbell up while the other is dropping, and you can alternate, and then you can perform the reps together. So you'll notice that my elbows aren't super bent. There's probably a slight bend to them just because that's my anatomy, but you want to keep them pretty locked out when the other is dropping. And just if you are bending, then maybe you need to drop the weight a little bit. And then here we have front raises. Same thing. Try to do each side for the same amount of reps using the same weight, and then you're going to switch sides. It's common to notice that you might have a dominant and non-dominant side. Most people do. In fact, I would say 90% of people do. So if you do feel weaker on one side, then unilateral work is going to be awesome for you to really balance out the strength and move forward in your compound movements and just overall strength and stability, versus letting one side lag while the other one does all the work. And then for fun, I did put some leg movements in here. So these are same side reverse lunges, holding the dumbbells by your side, and then we have alternating lunges, which are gonna happen next. So if you wanna add in a little more cardio and you're using moderate weight, alternating lunges are great. I like to stay single side and a little bit heavier myself. So these are reverse lunges, and now we're into forward lunges. So I do often encourage hinging a little bit at the waist so that you are not putting any sort of added pressure on your lower back, and you're really utilizing your glutes, your quads, and your hamstrings. And then this is the same movement, rear lunges, but it's with a front rack position. So the weights are up a little bit on your shoulders and the elbows are forward. You can do the same here with the forward lunges, and this is just more core work than holding the dumbbells by your side or a regular lunge. As you'll notice throughout this whole video, I mentioned the core a lot. You should be using your core in pretty much every exercise that you do. In fact, every exercise you do perform, you should be focusing on using your core. So breathing is going to be really important. So we've gone through a couple of other squat variations. Front squat, now we have a standard dumbbell squat, and we're going to come up on a goblet squat. So you're holding the dumbbell up by your chest, and the goal is to keep your shoulder blades pinned and your chest up nice and proud, so you're not leaning forward or feel like you're falling forward. And then we have single leg deadlifts, one of my favorites. If you don't have the stability for this, you can do without dumbbells and just do body weight. You don't want your hips to rotate out. You want to maintain nice square hips to the floor and a nice neutral spine. This is just the other side. And then we're going to come up on conventional dumbbell deadlifts. So this is when the dumbbells are coming from the floor. So your starting position is on the floor and you want to keep your hips below your shoulders. So this is just a side view to show you to keep your hips below your shoulders. And you're going to squeeze your glutes at the top. You're not hyperextending your back. And then straight leg deadlifts. Maintain neutral spine on the way down. Try to keep your eyes at the same spot without arching your back. You don't have to go all the way down. It totally depends on your flexibility, but you should be feeling the stretch right in your hamstrings. Take your time on the way down and quick on the way up.